Cod, A Biography of the Fish That Changed the World, 1997, a non-fiction masterpiece by journalist and author Mark Kurlansky, delves into the history of humanity's exploitation of North Atlantic cod as a resource. Through this exploration, the book aims to illuminate the evolving relationship between humans and the natural world on a broader scale. Garnering widespread popularity upon its release, Cod has been translated into over 15 languages. A trailblazer in the realm of historical writing, the book takes a unique approach by tracing the historical trajectory of a particular commodity. In the initial section, titled A Fish Tale, Kurlansky sets the stage for his central inquiry: how has a creature that was once deemed enduring been brought to the brink of extinction? His response pivots on the notion that the cod, characterized by its open-mouthed consumption of anything that fits, has encountered a predator more voracious than itself, humankind. Armed with this premise, Kurlansky embarks on a historical journey to trace the extensive saga of cod fishing, positing that the cod fishery has been pivotal in shaping the transatlantic world. He commences with the Vikings, who harnessed the process of air-drying cod to secure enduring provisions during their extensive sea voyages. These voyages, spanning from 985 to 1011, positioned them as the first Europeans to set foot in the Americas. Drawing on his prior research on the Basque community of southern Europe, Kurlansky details how the Basques established themselves in the whaling trade by preserving cod through salt curing. He also sheds light on the lesser-known narrative of Britain's inaugural Cod War, waged in 1532. As he unfurls the historical narrative, Kurlansky intersperses it with remarkable statistics, such as the fact that by 1550, cod constituted a staggering 60% of all fish consumed in Europe. Kurlansky's thesis contends that cod has wielded an underappreciated influence in various significant historical epochs and events. Mark Kurlansky illustrates that the negotiations centered around cod fishing territories stood as the core of the settlement established between the British and French governments following the 7 Years' War. This outcome led to France maintaining its slave colonies while relinquishing its fishing domains, ultimately forcing the nation to rely on British, specifically, New England, cod to nourish the slaves on their Caribbean plantations. This, Kurlansky contends, laid the foundation for the American Revolution. By the mid-1700s, the cod fisheries of New England had developed into a self-sustaining economy, disentangled from British control. Alongside their yearning for freedom, Kurlansky posits that the American colonists desired the autonomy to trade their cod without external interference. Kurlansky further argues that cod played a pivotal role in the triumph of the American Continental Army over the more seasoned and better-equipped British forces. Despite a scarcity of cod during the war due to naval patrols in the North Atlantic, Kurlansky contends that the self-sustaining and sophisticated colonial economy, capable of sustaining and arming its military, was fundamentally constructed upon the cod trade of preceding years. In the second segment, titled Limits, Kurlansky extends the cod's historical narrative into the 19th century. He chronicles the transformation of cod fishing, evolving from a fundamentally traditional hunting practice into an increasingly mechanized industrial pursuit. A central theme emerges in this section: the persistence of an antiquated belief, prevailing even into the industrial era, that nature is perpetually abundant and unchanging, immune to human exploitation. Kurlansky underscores how this presumption of boundless resources directly influenced cod fishing policies. The prominent Darwinian thinker, T.H. Huxley, serving on consecutive fishing commissions established by the British government, consistently argued that the cod's population and its abundant roe would persist despite human efforts to eradicate it. Kurlansky discerns that, in reality, cod stocks in the North Sea had already experienced noticeable depletion by the 1890s. This reality went unnoticed due to the rapid pace of technological advancements. By the time the decline of cod stocks became evident off British shores, steam trawlers were capable of transporting fishermen into the deep ocean to discover new supplies. The abundant cod that had impressed Huxley was, in actuality, a manifestation of technological innovation. As European fishermen ventured further westward in their quest for cod, the North Atlantic's ecology underwent sudden and enduring transformations. A continuous succession of new technologies, diesel trawlers, trawling nets, bottom draggers, and sonar, prolonged the fishermen's reach. Simultaneously, Clarence Birdseye's invention of frozen foods spurred demand for cod. The Newfoundland fisheries on the distant side of the ocean eventually collapsed, leaving Canadian fisheries perplexed by the abrupt and inexplicable disappearance of a seemingly infinitely abundant resource that had swiftly turned so rare that it could no longer be considered commercially viable. In the concluding section titled The Last Hunters, the book posits that the endangerment of cod is fundamentally rooted in humanity's inability to perceive nature accurately. Kurlansky contrasts the fisheries policies of Canada and Norway to underscore that well-informed policies can safeguard both cod stocks and the associated fisheries. Yet, he highlights that the enlightened approach taken by the Norwegians is not the norm. The overall shift in our relationship with the natural world has leaned toward deterioration rather than improvement. There is a substantial distinction between existing in a society that hunts whales and residing in one that observes them. Nature is becoming confined to staged displays for amusement and learning, an existence significantly less natural than hunting. Could we be headed toward a world where only parks remain as vestiges of nature? We recognize that eradicating fish is more challenging than mammals. However, after a millennium of pursuing the Atlantic cod, we understand that it can be accomplished. Within the book, recipes for cod-based dishes are woven throughout, illustrating the evolution of cod from a fundamental sustenance for the less fortunate to an exquisite rarity savored in upscale dining establishments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.